Hey guys, welcome back to this week's poll here on Comic Relief Cast. I am your host, Jake.
And I'm Josh. Hey Jake, you ready to tell our listeners what are we reading?
I actually am, and I appreciate not asking me some stupid question in order to get to that point. But guys, as you can tell by clicking on the title, you have clicked on the Marvel segment for this week, and we have a lot to go over this week. There is a lot to offer from Marvel, so what we're going over today is Age of X-Men, The Amazing Nightcrawler, number 1. Old Man Quill, number 2. Black Widow, number 2. Venom, number 11. Return of Wolverine, number 5. Wolverine Infinity Watch, number 1. Avengers, number 15. Miles Morales Spider-Man, number 3. Hulkverines, number 1. Avengers No Road Home, number 2. And Guardians of the Galaxy, number 2.
Wow, that's a mouthful.
That is 11 different comic books we're going to be going over for you guys. We are going over quite a few things, so let's get it started right off the bat with The Amazing Spider-Man. The Amazing Nightcrawler.
That's the logo of
yeah.
it, so I can get it.
It is. The Amazing Nightcrawler by Shannon Maguire, Juan Frigeri, and Dono Sanchez Almara. And we go over this every week. We already know. This is part of the Age of X-Men stuff with Marvelous X-Men, Alpha, Next Gen.
Insert opinions from the past 3 books when it comes to our opinions on Age of X-Men.
Pretty much. Again, it's the world they've created. Nightcrawler is just a saint, and he's also Beast Boy from the Teen Titans because he's a movie star. And my first thing was I could tell, because I know that making him like an actor in this, the first few pages I'm like, okay, this is obviously for a movie, but this is not how movies are shot. You don't do all this action in one take, whatever.
Spoken like a true film major.
Oh, yeah, but I don't know. This book was okay. It was fine. I don't know what else to say about. I don't know what else I can say about these books that I haven't said already, and I feel like I'm just kind of wasting my breath.
Yeah. And if anything, this book wasn't bad, but it wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. So that's typically this book is pure definition of the past couple of episodes.
Yeah, but okay.
Comics. So
I will say this: I didn't enjoy this one as much. I didn't like this one as much as I did the other few issues. Mm-hmm. I did like what they were doing with that more. Nightcrawler's thing. Him being kind of like this Hollywood star in the spotlight and everyone loves him, it doesn't make for a whole lot of conflict, you know?
Yeah, I mean, the part that you like about Nightcrawler is the fact that, nobody likes him.
Exactly.
I get it's supposed to be supposed to be this, alternate world where, Nightcrawler's the most famous, mutant ever. And
yeah, and you're flipping
it's supposed to be interesting, but...
Right.
And I get it, and it's not like it was a bad book, but at the same time, I'm like, yay.
Yeah, it feels like a very bland episode of Californication, but not nearly enough sex, not nearly enough cussing. It's just what happens on set of Californication kind of thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
So with that, why don't you go ahead and unveil this week's rating?
Okay, our rating. I'm going to give this book just a simple 2.1 Flarkins.
I am going to give 2.2 Flarkins.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're trying to one-up me, okay.
You still went 2.1. I was thinking I was going to go 2.4, but if he didn't like it, then I definitely didn't like it that much either. So if that's our metric.
I get it, okay.
All right. Moving on to Old Man Quill, number 2 by Ethan Sachs, Robert Gill, and Andres Massa. And actually, it feels like we just went over issue 1, so it's been a very fast 2 weeks since issue 1 came out. But again, this is all in the Old Man universe, let's just say. And then, Doom is now running a few things. They're coming to Earth. Cool. And it seems like everybody's turned into an old man. This is supposed to be 50-some years into the future of the world that we know now. My only real question is, why are so many people still alive? The lives that they lead should be short lives because of the predicaments they get themselves into, the conflicts they get into. But again, it's also the Marvel Universe where everybody gets brought back to life all the time. So why are they old in the first place? I don't know. It's a shtick that's kind of on its last legs with me. Old Man Logan, I thought was a very original idea. Old Man Quill, Old Man Wrecking Crew, Old Man Rocket Raccoon,
Drax.
Yeah, it's did
Old Man Gamora.
All these people really got the chance to live to this age? I don't buy it.
I mean, I've never really cared too much for the old man stuff. I mean, I like the original Old Man Logan.
Right.
But other than that, I've never really cared to venture off too much more into the other stuff. But I still enjoyed this book. It still wasn't bad. It's just if you like the old man stuff, you're gonna like this book. That's plain and simple.
It's brutal,
yeah.
But I will say it's a little bit predictable too. There's nothing in this book that surprises me, but it's a fine read. And with that, I'm gonna go ahead and give it 2.75 Flarkins.
2.5 Flarkins.
All right, I'm gonna move on quickly to Black Widow because this book just surprised the hell out of me. The writers are Jen and Sylvia Soska, and the artist is Flaviano. And what is going on in this book, if you guys didn't pick up issue 1, which I'm going to guess not a lot of people did, it didn't fly off our shelves, and I don't blame anyone for not picking it up, because that's not Clayton Crane's best work on covers, and neither is this issue. But this is Black Widow. She's going in, and she's basically breaking up a ring of people who are taking children, and they stream online whether or not they're going to murder them, and people who pay get to like dictate how they're murdered and stuff. I actually had quite a reaction to this book, and it wasn't it was a reaction in the sense that it made me sick and very angry, because this book is the most brutal book Marvel's got going right now. No joke. I never thought I'd say that about a Black Widow book, but this is absolutely the most brutal and adult comic book that Marvel's got going right now, and it's basically Black Widow is the female equivalent to the Punisher, but she's doing it in an even more brutal fashion than the Punisher's been doing it lately in the comic book. So Black Widow this book came out of nowhere for me, surprised the hell out of me. I couldn't recommend this book enough. Honestly, I'm going to give this book 3.8 Flarkins. Guys, if you have, I don't blame anybody for not wanting to pick up Black Widow. I get it, but pick up these first 2 issues. I don't think you got a whole lot to lose, and if you like it, please keep with it, because I didn't expect anything out of this book, and now I'm just going, maybe I'm going to be collecting this myself.
All right. I read Venom number 11 by Donnie Cates and Ryan Stegman. This one just pretty much follows up with Eddie Brock after he's been taken to the hospital and he passed out. Reed Richards from the Ultimate Universe is pretty much trying to detach the symbiote from Eddie, and the cancer spreading and trying to kill him, and Eddie is stuck in this kind of dream world stuck in his head, and it's kind of really horrific scenes and stuff, but you find out that the Venom symbiote is not the best friend that Eddie thought he had. It was a really, I'm not talking with all excited about it right now, but no, it was a really killer issue. It's just been exactly what Donnie Cates has been doing with the Venom, and I sound like a fucking broken record. It's just a full testosterone run. I mean, just get you fucking amped. And I loved it. It's probably one of my closer to one of my favorite issues this week that I've read so far. I'm going to give this 3.95 Flarkins.
Wow. All right. Moving on to Return of Wolverine, number 5 by Charles Soule and Steve McNiven. This is issue 5 of the miniseries of Return of Wolverine. So this is the finale of it. And I got to say, this book kind of amounted to nothing for me. I don't know. Josh and I were talking about it off air. We kind of go, it seems like somebody somewhere in the Marvel bullpen has kind of claimed dibs on exactly revealing everything about Wolverine and how he's come back and what he's doing and all this. And everything surrounding it is just everybody kind of tiptoeing around it, kind of treading water until they're allowed to address it. And so this book, it leaves me with just no answers. That's my biggest issue. I have no answers from these 5 issues. The first few issues, I feel like I got to go back and reread them all again, but it just seems like there's a lot of questions being brought up, and what's real, what isn't real, what's all happening within Wolverine's head, and what is actually physically manifesting. And then with this book, you don't really get a whole lot of answers. You get a little bit more from Persephone about what's going on. Luckily, Steve McNiven is back. I do appreciate his pencils over Declan Shalvey's past few issues, but all in all, I can't say that the Return of Wolverine made me go, okay, Wolverine's back. This is how they brought him back. This is what he's up to next. And, it's just kind of like a waste of time. I really don't know how else to put it. I feel bad saying that because there are some good ideas in here, but all in all, I'm really not too thrilled with it.
Yeah, it's like most of Marvel events that's been going on lately. I enjoyed reading this. I enjoyed reading this event. I mean, there was moments in there that I was really, I thought was really cool. But I was bummed with the ending. It was just for an ending of this event, it was a little lackluster.
Yeah, and if you guys are wondering why he has heated up claws, you're still not going to get that answer.
You still don't get that answer.
I mean, we can all kind of guess if you're reading anything else from Marvel right now where he's kind of popped up, but in this book, it doesn't tell you why he's got them, and I don't even think in this issue he used them at all. So I don't get it. I don't know. Charles Soule is not my favorite writer at Marvel, so I guess I wasn't putting a lot of stock in this, but for Return of Wolverine, just issue 5, I'm going to give this book a 2.3 Flarkins, and as a little mini event, 5 issues as a whole, I'm not going much higher. I'm going to go 2.5 Flarkins. This isn't a must pick up. The best thing about this issue is easily that Adi Granov variant cover.
I give it I'm actually right there with you, 2.3 on this issue. For the event itself, I give it 2.5. Yeah, I would give it 2.75. Flarkins. There's some really cool moments that I enjoyed from it.
All right.
And then actually, after you get done reading this, it tells you to go off and read
The very
Wolverine
next
Infinity Watch #1
by Jerry Duggan and McDonald and Belair, which is the issue we're going over right afterwards. Which this is honestly, so what this book is it's kind of setting up the timeline in the Marvel Universe, where everything is taking place, where Return of Wolverine takes place in relation to what's happening in the rest of the Marvel Universe. So this kind of goes over quickly what happened in Infinity Wars, the Phoenix Force version of Old Man Logan, who's shown up in Thor and Avengers a couple times. So you're starting to get all the pieces put together. And like I said, this is kind of where I start to go, okay, Wolverine might end up being the key to all this, and I really don't like this. It's like Wolverine was gone for a while. Yeah, we had Old Man Logan. Yeah, we had Laura Kinney, then Honey Badger, Daken. A lot of Wolverine-inspired characters, but the original, traditional Wolverine, the Berserker Rage guy, he's been gone for a while, and I feel like I personally felt his absence. Now that you're bringing him back, dude is already going to be everywhere, and he's probably going to be the key to everything, or he's going to be play a pivotal role. And I'm just like, you guys are doing with Wolverine exactly what you do with the X-Men. You're flooding the market. You've opened the floodgates, and the dude's just rushing out everywhere. And I think it's just a little too much too soon. But with this book, it's just kind of going over the events of Infinity Wars and what happened. And Loki's like, oh, there's 2 Logans. Not a whole lot. We get more backstory basically on what you already read from Infinity Wars, that the stones are now people. They have souls, and then you introduce a bad guy in the very end.
Yeah, this book's literal point to what it's doing is it's connecting Return of Wolverine to an Infinity Countdown and all these different books where we keep seeing appearances of Wolverine.
Yeah, but it doesn't even do it intelligently, in my opinion, because there are a few times they just don't even address it all.
Yeah, there's a few times that they don't address it all, but they that's where they're you going from, because Return of Wolverine, the one thing you always was sitting here wondering was where does this Wolverine take place compared to why am I seeing this Wolverine and then seeing Wolverine in Avengers?
Yeah, why did I see him in Marvel Legacy #1? A year ago?
Yeah. And why did I see him at the in an issue of Thor? Why did I see him in Infinity Countdown?
Yeah, he was in a lot of weird places.
He's in a lot of weird places, just making his mark. And this kind of gives you an idea of how this is all connecting. It seems like this book right here is probably going to be might lead up to an answer to where why Wolverine's making all these connections.
Yeah, but again, it doesn't provide any answers. It doesn't go, oh, okay, this is continuing the story. It's
no, this is just this is the starting point.
Yeah, and it's the comic book definition of treading water, in my opinion. And so
I think that I have an opinion. I have a theory, and I've pitched this one out a couple of times to some people, and after today, I am definitely more on board on thinking that's what this is. But I'm not going to say it today.
Okay, well, that's fine.
I don't know why I'm bringing it up.
I don't either.
Just because I want to be a dick about it, I guess.
All right. Well, with Wolverine Infinity Watch, I'm going to give it 2.2 Flarkins. I really can't recommend it being a pickup book. I also don't know that I can recommend as a whole Return of Wolverine, but, there are Wolverine fans out there, and if you're a fan of Wolverine and you're kind of like Wolverine, with Wolverine the way I'm with Iron Man, I'm pretty much going to pick up anything Iron Man. If you're like that with Wolverine, then yeah, get it.
I'm going to give it 2.45 Flarkins, mostly because that cover is pretty awesome. It has a really great variant, Scrolls variant,
Yeah,
too.
It does. All right, moving on to Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, issue 15 by Jason Aaron and David Marquez. And this one's kind of continuing on with Blade joining up the team temporarily to take down Dracula having turned himself in. And now you got this new group of Colonel Vampire or Colonel Shadow, something like that, with all his guys. And this book is just freaking awesome, man. There's some really, really good moments in here with between Dracula and Iron Man, and even Iron Man and the Winter's Guard that I really appreciated. But there's also a real concerted effort to give more backstory and focus to Robbie Reyes' Ghost Rider character, and I think it's really, really cool.
Yeah, this book was cool.
Yeah.
This is probably it's really tough because it's one of my favorites that I read today too.
Oh, absolutely.
It had some great moments with Ghost Rider. Had some great moments with Iron Man. And I'm just, it's the only thing I don't like about this book is that it's bugging me because I need to know who Colonel Shadow is.
Right.
It's bugging me that I don't know.
Yeah.
And it's I just want to know more about this character because I really dig the character, this Darth Vader man thing looking character.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting him.
Yeah. I dig this book. The artwork's cool. Sarge is It's awesome. I wish I had a dog that can give me a thumbs up and tell me to buy a comic book.
Yeah, and I really think Jason Aaron continues to use the body of a dead Celestial really intelligently as their base of operations. I think they just keep using that, or he keeps using that to his advantage as far as storytelling goes. And I really like his portrayal of Dracula.
Dracula was badass.
Dracula's a really cool character. I kind of think Hannibal Lecter meets the Batman Who Laughs or something. I think it's a really cool little book, and. Yeah, I don't know. I can't recommend Avengers as a whole enough. This book is no different. I can't not recommend this book.
And another thing too, do you think this book will go up in price because in this book you find out what Black Panther smells like?
No, I don't.
If you don't know, if you guys are confused by this comment, pick up the comic book, read it.
Yeah.
Because you find out what Black Panther apparently smells like.
Okay. Well, no, I don't think it's going to go up in price with that, but
You never know.
I do say I also liked Boy Thing as well.
Boy Thing,
I think is
Boy
cute.
Thing.
Instead
Once
of
again,
Man Thing.
some people are listening, go Boy Thing.
Boy, yeah, what the hell? Just think Man Thing, but a baby version. So I'm gonna give Avengers issue 15 3.8 Flarkins. I really enjoyed this book. I'm really enjoying the series as a whole.
Right there with you, 3.8 Flarkins.
All right, moving on to Miles Morales, Spider-Man, issue 3 by Saladin Ahmed, Javier Garron, and David Curiel. And this book actually might go up in price because this one actually does have a first appearance in this book. Yeah. But, Josh, I'll let you take this one away.
Okay, so Miles Morales has been teamed up with Rhino to find these kids that have been missing. They've been snatched. You can see what I did there. I'm winking for you listeners that can't see me winking. And this is pretty much how this story arc is ending. It's the end of the first story arc, and Saladin Ahmed just does a great job of giving Miles a voice.
Yeah.
Bendis was doing the same thing.
Him using the journal as a way to
smart.
I think it's a very intelligent way to get to know Miles.
Very intelligent way. And you actually end up leaving this. So he writes Cap really good too, but Rhino.
Yes, Rhino's a standout.
You actually leave this and go, Rhino is a great character. And this the new villain that they introduced in this book, that's a first appearance, that character is pretty cool. I want to read more stuff with this character. But
I think he's kind of a dick, but I also think he reminds me
I
a
like
little,
that,
I do too, but I also...
Why do you think you're my friend?
He also reminds me a little bit of Purple Man.
Yeah, he does kind of remind me of Purple Man a bit.
Yeah.
But pencils and the coloring, the colorist in this book killed it. I think that adds to the pencils on the book.
Yeah, my only thing about the pencils is that your Garron kind of is starting to tread a little bit the J.R. Jr. realm with Cap in the face. Like it starts to look a little like John Romita Jr. and I'm not a fan of John Romita Jr.'s art.
Yeah, but it's a touching book. It gets in the end is very touching with you got a couple of really good moments where you kind of go, okay, this is why we're not saying that people are taking the mantle of Peter, but there's other Miles is just it's up there with Peter Parker. You understand that. But I like this book. I really like
the explored dynamic between Cap and Spider-Man.
Yeah,
that you can tell that there's a much given respect between the two characters.
I will say this: I was a little bummed that there was no Civil War II or Secret Empire reference. Like, hey, you remember that time when we all saw me kill you?
Yeah, I know. I was thinking that too, but I think that's kind of been resolved elsewhere. But no, I think this is a really good book, and I think Rhino is easily the standout of this book. And I think what I like about it is that it's a very personal story to Miles. It's a story about Miles. It's not the story about the end of the world. It's not even the story about someone trying to destroy the neighborhood or anything like that. It's a very personal story with Miles, someone he's connected to, and their kid or someone being in trouble. And I really like that.
Yeah, back to being Miles being what Miles was originally written as.
It's a back to basic story, and I really appreciate it for that. And this one I'm going to give 3.65 Flarkins. Really enjoying the series so far.
I'm at 3.75 Flarkins.
All right, moving on to Hulkverines by it's so weird to be able to say that now.
Well, it even says right down here. It says the title says Hulk plus Wolverine plus Weapon H equals Hulkverines.
Yeah, that's just
Come
simple
on,
math.
you know you love it.
That's just simple math. So it's the writer is Greg Pak, the artist is Ario Anindito, and then the color artists are Maury Hallowell with Andrew Crossley. Actually, this book is a good-looking book. The interiors of this book, I think, are really good. It may not look as good to me as the cover because I do love the cover, Greg Land, but the interiors of this book are really good, and what I really like about this, again, is that it, along with Avengers No Surrender, and Spider-Man, Miles Morales, all these books are taking into consideration what's going on in the rest of the Marvel Universe as a greater whole. So they kind of reference it here and there, like, hey, if you want to know where this was, they just a little note, like, check out this issue, check out that issue. I appreciated that when they did that in the, back in the Silver Age days when you'd be reading Spider-Man, check out issue, 121 for the death of Gwen Stacy and stuff like that. And I like that they're doing that. Like, all these books seem to be coinciding with each other, and I just really appreciate that, the fact that none of these books are being derailed or detracted because of other things going on, but that they're just being included as, like, if you want more reading material on this character to find out more, check this out, because it's all happening in real time for the universe. But this book, I think it's fun. It's a good little book. It's a 3-issue thing, so it's not a huge commitment, and I'm digging it. They bring back one, you get Immortal Hulk coming into this book. Cool. Wolverine's back. He's coming into this book. Awesome. And not only that, but you're bringing back a very cool classic Hulk villain that we haven't seen in a very long time. And I think it's kind of neat to bring that back. And honestly, I haven't been reading Weapon H in a long time, so that Hulkverine character, I haven't really seen what he's been up to lately. I just remember what he was back when he first came out, and I like to see that he's progressed a little bit and that he's kind of become a family man again. And it answers some questions to me a little bit on how his power set works now too. He's kind of gotten a hold of it.
Yeah, it was. I had no hope for this book. I actually really enjoyed it. It's kind of goofy at times, but I think it's supposed to be like, it knows it's goofy. It's a little self-aware on that.
Oh yeah, there are a few times for sure.
Especially when you have a book called Hulkverines.
Exactly.
But if you are an Immortal Hulk fan, we have a few of some serious Immortal Hulk fans that come to our shop. And you will like this because
absolutely.
It references a lot of things that's happened in Immortal Hulk. It's not detaching from the idea of Immortal Hulk, and it's pretty cool where they're going with that.
Yeah, I agree. This is a book that I would definitely recommend picking up because it's only a 3-issue thing.
Oh yeah.
And you get more Hulk, you get more Wolverine, you get some Hulkverine or Weapon H, and I think it's just cool. Like we were talking about testosterone fueled. This is kind of what that is.
I do enjoy the Weapon H. The Weapon H is I like where they did what they did with that character.
I mean, it's every kid's dream growing up when you're thinking about, like, oh, what if they combine the Hulk with Wolverine? They did it for you guys, So just if you're a fan of those characters, that idea just sounds exciting. It's a fun little book. I'm going to give this one 3.25 Flarkins.
I am at 3.1 Flarkins.
Okay, a little lower.
Yeah, just a little.
All right, moving on to Avengers No Road Home issue 2. The writers are Al Ewing, Jim Zub, and Mark Waid. The penciler is Paco Medina. Inker, I do think we need to go over him, is Juan Velasco. I think his inks really make these pencils pop.
Oh yeah.
But this is, again, guys, we went over this last week. This is a 10-issue, 10-week thing. So if you're on board, you're on board. You're picking up a new issue every week for 10 weeks. But for me, I'm a huge Greek mythology fan. I love the Avengers. This thing is just right up my alley. So I feel like I cannot be completely objective. I'm going to try to be, but I just love stuff like this. I have not read Avengers No Surrender, which we did get the trade in today, so I definitely want to go back and read that, see if there's anything else I can pick up with this. But you add the Greek mythology, you have the Avengers, and you have this issue which is actually pretty much narrated by only Hawkeye, and it's told from Hawkeye's perspective, and he's kind of going over the fact that I'm just a dude with a bow and arrow. People ask me all the time, how do I keep up with these guys? And it's self-deprecating at the same time. I just found this book wildly charming.
Yeah, I love the fact that Hawkeye is narrating this. It kind of makes me a little bummed because then it reminds me of how I miss Fraction's Hawkeye run. Just a run where just mostly where there's a lot of Clint. And with West Coast Avengers, now I'm I want a Hawkeye solo book again.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm enjoying this book. The pencils are great. The story is
beautiful.
Yeah, the story it has this awesome ending.
Yes, it does.
I didn't
want to get to it yet.
Yeah, you get kind of shocked a little bit, and it's kind of If you guys are worried about picking this book up, I would say don't worry about it.
Yeah,
I think you should pick it up. It looks like it's going to end up being a good event. Yeah,
I'm actually really excited about this book. The prospects here, they get me very excited. And I forget what I was going to say now. But what I was going to say is there was a moment we were both talking about in here that reminded me of Dragon Ball Z a little bit about the villain.
Yeah. There's a villain in here that does. If you're a Dragon Ball Z fan, you'll pick it up. It does have a DBZ. Yeah. Yeah. If you're not a DBZ fan, you won't mind. You won't even notice it. It won't bother you at all.
Yeah, but I think it might help you to understand maybe the tone this book's going for a little bit better too.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the cool thing about this book is this is only second issue, and this issue is action packed until the last about 3 or 4 pages.
Yeah.
It jumped right on it. It didn't sit here and fiddle fart around.
Yeah, and I love this type of villain. This kind of villain who's just this powerful, who's just having fun toying with these heroes. I love stuff like that, and it's a crazy woman, and I love that too. I'm just like, give me more of this character.
And the side characters that she has on her side, like her little henchmen and stuff, there's some
children.
her children. They're pretty cool characters.
They are. I think everything in this book is done well. The character concept designs, the art's done well. It's written well. I think this is a really good collaborative effort from our writers and artists. And I'm going to give this book 3.95 Flarkins. I think this might be my favorite issue this week.
I'm actually going to give it 3.8 Flarkins.
All right, and moving on to Donnie Cates, issue 2 of Guardians of the Galaxy, but with Jeff Shaw and Marte Gracia on the colors and art. And if you guys read issue 1 not too long ago, you kind of know where this is going. But again, this book also is showing us where everything is taking place as far as timeline goes. If you guys have been reading X-Men, if you've been reading Thor, if you've been reading Avengers, if you've been reading all those different titles, you kind of understand where this book is actually supposed to be taking place, especially with Infinity Wars too. But this book, it's not the same punch and start to a series that issue 1 had, but it is definitely more of a mellow book. This is kind of just like, okay, issue 1 was this kind of big, spark of a starting of a book, and this is kind of a bit more of like, okay, we're gonna chill out, kind of get our bearings, figure out where we're going with everything, where is everybody at, and how do they get along, and what's everybody's goal. That's kind of what this issue is.
You gotta have some fillers, some stuff to kind of like place where everybody's at.
Yeah, I'm not saying this is a filler issue. I'm just saying not a lot happens in this book, but you get a lot of time with your characters to go, okay, how does this character feel about this character? Yeah. What is their goal? What do they want to do about the situation? And I do like that. I think you definitely have to set up the chessboard a little bit, and that's exactly what this book does.
Yeah, I do. I will say this. I'm really happy that there is actually a Guardians of the Galaxy run so far that I'm really enjoying and actually collecting.
Yeah.
Because I did. This is the first time that I've actually been there, been wanting to collect a Guardians of the Galaxy run book, and this is probably my right next to Venom. They're both kind of tied, and this is probably one of my favorite reads.
Yeah,
so far.
And as we were talking, I think Donnie Cates has a special love in his heart for Beta Ray Bill. So I love
think he
seeing
has a certain love for a lot of characters, and that's why he keeps bringing up, because he brings out a lot of characters that used to be in comic books a lot, especially back in the 90s.
Yeah.
And they haven't been in comic books for a while, and he's been bringing them back, and he does such a great job at writing the tone for them.
Yeah, and I'm just saying, I was gonna go just specifically Beta Ray Bill, and I really like that he's bringing Beta Ray Bill in, because I've got a soft spot in my heart for Beta Ray Bill as well. But I will say that his Death of Inhumans, I liked that version of Beta Ray Bill, and I was kind of hoping he'd bring that version of him over to this book. But I also think that Death of Inhumans might have actually taken place in the future to this book. So I'm wondering if maybe that's the reason Beta Ray Bill is not that style.
Maybe we see the reason why Beta Ray ends up being that way.
I actually would not put it past Donnie Cates to somehow include the Death of the Inhumans somehow in this book, or just hint or allude to it. So
yeah.
Is there anything else you want to say about this one?
It's great. I highly recommend Guardians of the Galaxy.
What about the ending? There's anything about that ending?
I don't want to say because I'm afraid I'm going to spoil it.
No, don't spoil it.
I'm not going to spoil it. But the ending is great. And once again, it's just being I guess it's not really so much as the 90s as an 80s, 90s thing. That's the only hint I'm going to give you guys.
Yeah.
But it's just, there's a reveal at the end of this, and it just makes me so excited
for the next issue, because I want explanation.
So pumped. I want an explanation, and I'm so pumped about it.
Yeah, I am too.
And I know a few other people that are going to be really excited about it, and I hope that a lot more people will be excited.
Another cosmic character that I really, really like, that I'm
another hint.
Very excited about seeing where it goes in issue 3. But with this one, I'm going to give it just under No Road Home. I'm going to go 3.75 Flarkins. Really enjoying Guardians of the Galaxy.
I'm giving it 3.95 Flarkins.
All right, out of all we read, give me the 3 books you'd recommend listeners pick up absolutely this week.
Okay, 3 books that I recommend. Oh man, that sucks, man. You put me in a spot. Okay, I recommend Venom, No Road Home, and Guardians of the Galaxy.
All right, I'm gonna recommend Avengers No Surrender, and Guardians of the Galaxy. And
you mean No Road Home?
What did I say? No Surrender. Yeah, okay. Yeah. And then a tentative one that I think people should definitely give a shot, Black Widow. Definitely give this book a shot, because I think this one's going under the radar, and I don't know. This thing's brutal. But I think that is all we've got for you guys this one. I told you it would be a very long episode. We really hope you listened this far. And if you did, we really appreciate you staying this long. So if you're not already, hit that subscribe button. Become a subscriber of Comic Relief Cast. That way, every Tuesday, you can get early comic book reviews. Hit that like button if you liked it. Hit the thumbs down if you didn't like it. But please, in the comments, let us know why you didn't like it. Or if you did like it, let us know what you guys thought in the comments as well. Let's have that discussion. And, of course, share this with your friends, guys. If anybody you know reads comic books, share this with them. That way you guys can talk comics even more, and they can come talk those with us as well. That is all we've got for you this week. Thank you so much. Take care.
Bad mother flarkins.